They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of display.
Hey everybody, what's up? This is Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Now this video is about what I call the dating desert. See, we're due to all the laws and what's going on, what it's created is a dating drought. It's not that there isn't anyone to date. It's that because all of the intent on now negotiating, now not negotiating, but now initiating the date is placed on the women due to the fact that, for example, men can't catcall anymore. Just say, hey, you look good. You know what I'm saying? Men can't come to ask a woman out in public that he doesn't know without the potential risk that comes with it. And what's happened, and I'm going to touch up on it step by step here, what's happened is it's created a dating drought, because since it's all on the women, now I'm not saying men aren't out there, cold approaching or, looking for dates and all that. But what's happening is it's placed due to how the laws are where, the intent of a man seeking out a woman publicly comes with a risk. Because what's happened is it's turned, all of the dating has become somewhat of a job. It's become like because of all the laws and everything going on, society in general, especially a super biased government when it comes to sexes, has become a full-time job. Like, your job is now actually how you live your life. You know how you can't really ask a chick out at your job without risk being implied, a level of risk and, what could happen, she could place, oh, look, that freak asked me out and all that. And because of the pressure with how they're saying, what they call it, man spreading, because of how they've literally targeted everything a man does, being masculine, cat calls, compliments, anything a man does that the woman isn't comfortable with or doesn't give a positive level of validation, it can be deemed a crime. You know what I'm saying? So what it's done is it's put all the initiation process for dating on a woman's, hand. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of men, and this video might be a little all around here and there. It's been a while. But a lot of men have now also the reason, you got Coach Greg Adams, RPM, Hammerhead, the whole manosphere aspect is actually going to grow even stronger because of how the laws are. A lot of men are looking at it as, the only time I'm free, the only time I don't have to worry about a potential, false claim or a potential harassment claim and all that, is when I hang with my homies and my friends, my male friends. So what this has done is it's pushed men even further towards only associating and socializing with their fellow man. So that's why you see the crimson, the crimson pill community increasing and growing at a crazy state, because the only time it's safe for you as a man to have a different narrative or conversation is with your fellow man. You can't talk to a chick or say anything because she'll say, oh, look, he's abusing me and all this and that, and could summon the wrath of what comes with her playing a victim. So a lot of men are associating with more men. They're finding it that it's safer to communicate. It's always been more comfortable for you to talk to your fellow man. You know what I mean? Because, if you're straight, there's no attraction there. There's really no, boundary beyond the conversation and talking. So what this has done is it's pushed more men into communicating and talking with one another, you know. And another thing is to go back to why we're at a dating desert is that it's put all the responsibility of dating in a woman's hand. The initiation process of dating, the just basically initiating and asking someone out. It's been placed in the woman's hand, and in actuality, it's created a desert because, due to the fact that women naturally don't really ask a guy out. You know what I mean? I've been in them scenarios where, you'll get them signals and all that, what they call them choosing signals. But even then, they're signals. It's not, she'll overtly just come up to you, blah, blah. I mean, that happens sometimes, when the, can't help it. I'm a good looking guy. What can I say? But what happens, but what's happened is it creates a dating desert because it actually, since women are the ones by the mainstream media that cannot be deemed monstrous or inhumane for asking a man out, or how they treat the man or whatever standards they set, it's created a dating desert because most women will not initiate the dating process and are still seeking men to come out and, ask them out and so on. But the men are stepping away from that. And since women are being put in the perspective of they have to initiate the dating process, it further empowers their perspective of not engaging the dating process because women naturally fear or, fear rejection. And they, what I mean? It's not in a natural state for them to go and just ask guys out, Maybe back in kindergarten, back in, when we were little kids and stuff, when there was less fear, stuff like that. But as women mature, they become more aware of their, reflection and, how their image and how their appearance plays when it comes to, male attention and and validation and all that. So what happens is we're in a dating desert. Of course you add in the whole Tinder, then you add in seeking arrangements where, a woman could basically set her price for how she can associate with a man. Then you add in all the dating, all the apps and all that, the fact that she could just swipe up, swipe back, it's gonna make women further go even further back towards not socializing for dates. They're basically going, the apps will actually make more money because at least with the apps, she's being asked out. You know what I mean? Men are swiping yes, no, yes, no. You know what I'm saying? She's still getting asked out versus the physical aspect where, most men are just walking away and leaving her alone. So she's gonna further go into that dedication to apps. dating on apps and Tinder and, then you got your OnlyFans and stuff like that. So by putting all the power and onus on a woman's hand when it comes to the initiation process of dating without any hurdle or issues, you know what I'm saying? It actually, it basically pushes it further into the apps because given the process of dating, a woman will choose the easiest way, and easiest way is the apps. The apps, you get asked out hundreds of times because of, what I'm saying, that cognitive distance. It's kind of like when you have a credit card or a debit card and you don't have your physical money in your hand. You'll spend more money. It'll be easier for you to spend money. So it's easier for guys by the thousands for some women or by the hundreds to ask them out because, we don't on the app because you're nowhere near within her face or, you know, close to where there's any risk. There's any, physical risk that can be implied. So you swipe up, you swipe whatever to say you want to go out with her. So, it's created in the physical realm. What's happening is, and in the long run, this is going to actually damage far more women than men. What's happening is that dating now is, it's in your pocket. It's the phone. You know what I mean? So physical dating, it's become obsolete. And what's going to happen now, let's say some woman let's say she's 18. She's been dating on the apps for until she's about, let's say, 28. So 10 years, but she's tired of sleeping around. So she's trying to seek real relationships and real encounters. But most men outside of the apps aren't asking, them out. Most men are going further and further away because of all the implied risk. He could be deemed misogynist. He could be deemed this and that, and his employment is on the line. What this has created is men have seen that dude. I ask her out if she ain't feeling my game or doesn't like me and says I'm a creep or whatever, and she puts this online and hashtags, you know, creep of the week or whatever, my job is on the line. So a lot of men are pushing themselves further and further away from the physical dating aspect, and more men, in all honesty, with with all choices when it comes to women on the scale of how you can deal with them, be it with apps, and there's different levels of apps. You have your Tinder and your Bumble, where you're asking them out, you're swiping in. Then you have your OnlyFans, where you can get that validation through, payments and certain requests and all that. Then you get to a lot of the community doesn't talk about, where they say they're simps and all that. But a lot of those men that are on OnlyFans are part of a group of men that are on OnlyFans that get to socialize and communicate with each other while, while basically, seeking the validation of one woman. You know what I'm saying? Like they've built the whole male community around that woman's validation. Then you have your seeking arrangements where it's like a damn near an escort service. And I've seen on there, man, they got chicks age 18 and up literally putting their services on there with a price. So what's happening is for women, they won't face what it means, and it's not in their nature to go, asking men out. You know what I'm saying? They're more out there to be asked out. So when you put all the power into a woman to make the decision of who she's gonna ask out and all that. She ain't gonna ask nobody out in the physical realm. There'll be far less of them doing it, so it's gonna create a dating desert. And then you add all the apps available, for dating and so on. Women are gonna take the easiest route, and it's the apps. And there's different levels of apps. You got your Tinders, your Bumbles, your Plenty of Fish, and then you have those other apps where she's in charge, where there's money involved. You're seeking arrangements, where she puts her services out there for a certain amount of money. Then there's OnlyFans, where same thing. She puts her services, but it's only through a digital aspect where she never has to meet any men. So what's happened is we're in a dating desert. Even though there's a lot of women and a lot of men out there, then you add what I call it Conan 19. Shout out to RPM who calls it Charlie 19. I like to call it Conan 19. I guess as long as we stay with the C word, Conan 19, we'll be all right. But yeah, with Conan 19 out, there's even more reasons for her to not socialize, So women are gonna fall further and further into socializing on the apps. You see, a lot of men, when Conan 19 is done, and let's say they stop the mask and they allow a lot of more men to socialize and do what they do, what's gonna happen is more men are gonna socialize, and than ever before. It's actually gonna go, as I kept saying, back to when men went to the bar with their brothers, their friends, and did whatever else they did, and went back to whatever. You know what I mean? So what's gonna happen is more women will be the victims of not to the point where they can't do they can't not social distance. Because all the power's in their hands when it comes to initiating the dates. So the safest thing for them is gonna be, when it comes to their ego and their self-esteem, will be the online dating process. Because they get to reject this man, that man, and so on. So, we're in the dating desert, In the physical realm, there's going to be far less dating, And in the long term, it's going to do a lot more psychological damage to the women than the men because, I tell a lot of people, a lot of men, we've been social distancing. When you're playing video games, for 5 to 8 hours, you're social distancing. When you're in the gym by yourself for over 8 to 5 hours, you're social distancing. Or you're chasing your goals and grinding it out, you're social distancing. We as men have been social distancing. And the thing is, it's only gonna get, further and further away from physical socialization between the sexes. We're in the physical dating desert, because all of the power to, initiate the dating process has been put in the woman's hands, and the majority of them will not, and this will further increase their nature, as in it will make them more, avoidance when it comes to seeking men out. They'll do it far less as a group when it comes to initiating a dating process. Well, this has been Hold the Truth Hostage, where the truth was so important, wouldn't negotiate with lies. Peace.
They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of